What's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Truth. And that's show for Truth Over Narrative. Welcome to A-Side Boxing Talk. I'm now live. Again, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Truth. And that's short for Truth Over Narrative. Welcome to A-Side Boxing Talk. Today, as you can see by the title, you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about this weekend, this recap. We're going to recap this weekend review. Sometimes, I take a little long to get to it. Again, it was a couple little things that happened, so I just kind of wanted to wait my time and bide my time. Again, I appreciate everybody for joining. If you want to come on with me, you know what I mean? And if you want to come on with me, the link is in the description. I did not put it in the chat. The link is in the description. So if you hit the description, you could come live with me. We could talk. We could bust it up. You know what I mean? And go ahead and speak about this recap and review. I appreciate you, my man Broadway Joel. Again, before we even start off, my man Broadway Joel is the voice of Dominican boxing. Again, I know he got he got a couple busy weeks coming up. December 17th, you got Michelle Rivera versus Frank Martin. And then about 2 or 3 weeks following that, you got Hector Garcia versus Javante Tank Davis. I believe Alberto Puello will be defending his WBA 140 strap in March, possibly on the Benavidez Plant undercard is what we heard. So again, shout out to my man Broadway Joel. If you have not subscribed to his channel, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe on his channel. You know, he make guest appearance on mine. I make guest appearance on his. So at the end of the day, again, this is just new media. YouTube boxing family. That's my brother. That's my Dominican brother. I'm from the other side of the island, Haiti. Aïssien, Sakafet, Nukonenula. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? That's my boy. You know what I mean? Eric Rosa versus Knockout. Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, bro, listen, we got some good fights coming up, especially for my Dominican fighters, man. So we gonna Broadway. What y'all gonna do, man? You need to be on the horn with these guys, Broadway. Yeah. So obviously, we're going to start off. I want to start off with the heavyweight matchup that we had over this past weekend, Dillian White and Jermaine Franklin. I think that was a really close fight. That was Dillian White's first fight under Buddy McGirt, who obviously we know Buddy McGirt is training a lot of fighters. He's also the trainer of Callum Smith, who since his Canelo Alvarez loss, I think he had 2 straight knockouts. So he's doing well. I know another prospect that actually had a knockout loss earlier on in his career, now is doing much better, and Carlos Balderas. He's training him. I know Buddy got a lot of fighters. Buddy's also training Janabek, whose performance I hated against Denzel Bentley, but it is what it is. But yeah, Dillian White versus Jermaine Franklin. Again, I think that was a good fight. In my eyes, I believe that was a draw. It could go a draw. It could go 7-5 either way. I definitely would like to see Jermaine Franklin out again. I will hope that we could see him in other matches. I would like to see him possibly against like Frank Sanchez. I wouldn't mind seeing him against. I'm not sure if Jermaine Franklin is going to be a top 10 heavyweight ever, but again, I know his previous fight to the Dillian White fight, he weighed in at I think it was like 279. In this fight, I know he lost 20 pounds. He came in, I believe, at 259 for the Dillian White fight. Again, man, this dude's tough, man. He's not the strongest heavyweight. He's not the tallest heavyweight. He's not the biggest heavyweight, but he does have good size. He does have good pop. He is a combination puncher. Again, yeah, like I said, Jermaine Franklin, after the fight, he did feel like he was robbed. I'm not going to say robbed, but what I will say is definitely when you go into foreign territory, and I'm not just talking about another state, when you go into the UK as an American fighter, you have to definitively win a fight in order to be considered, in order to be the winner. I'm going to just use a quick example. When Devin Haney went to Australia the first time, he beat George Kambosos for 10 to I want to say 10 rounds in the first fight, to 10, 11 rounds, right, in the first fight that definitively gave him a win, right? In the second fight, He beat the shit out of George Kambosos, gave him a definitive win. So again, I do like Jermaine Franklin, and I know he was talking that in the post fight that he was robbed. But at the end of the day, if you going overseas and you having a close fight, bro, you gotta expect that the home crowd going to do the home crowd shit. So I don't really want to hear about I don't really want to hear about no cheating or no robberies and shit like that. It was a very close fight. It was a good fight, action fight. Again, like I said, Dillian White working with a new trainer, Buddy McGirt. I didn't like the fact that Buddy McGirt was talking about he never watched Dillian White fight before. He never watched video of his opponents. If you my coach and you say some shit like that, you're done, right? But that is what it is. So Jermaine Franklin versus Otto Wallin or Michael Hunter. I could take that. I know he fought Jerry Forrest, who actually got a fight in 2 weeks against Jared Anderson, which is a great step up fight. So I like that. But nah, VV, that's what's up, man. I would definitely love to see Jermaine Franklin again versus Otto Wallin. I don't think we've seen Wallin in a minute. As a matter of fact, I think Wallin was supposed to fight Dillian White before he fought Tyson Fury. And then, Dillian White had the injury, really meaning that he was waiting on the bigger bag. You know what I'm saying? And he pulled out of the Wallin fight. But I'm not sure we ain't seen Wallin in a minute. I got to check on that. I don't think we've seen Otto Wallin in a minute. Again, but definitely for sure. Again, like I said, that was a close fight. Again, man, hey, I'm gonna stop time real quick. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment. The Cash App is scrolling across the bottom. So if you feel that I'm doing a good job, hey, drop your boy 5, 10 cents, $1, $100, shit, pay my, you know what I mean? Let's get it, man. Tap in with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Wallin's fought twice this year against Rydell Booker and Camille Nissan ASAP. You know what, VV? Rydell Booker just fought against Big Brian Shaw, and I didn't want to see that fight, man. But for Rydell Booker to be so old, I think Rydell Booker like 41, 42 years old. For him to be so old, I think he only been stopped one time. That motherfucker been fighting for a long time. So, again, my apologies. I guess Wallin fought twice this year. I don't really follow Wallin like that. He's a good heavyweight. I know he had a good fight against Fury. Not really too exciting, not exciting enough for my liking. But then again, hey, maybe I just need to tune back in. So I appreciate my man VV, bringing up the Wallin and his opponents, man. Second fight. Now, this second fight I'm going to talk about, I was utterly disgusted with this fight. And that's the John Ryder and Zach Parker fight. So going into this fight, I watched a bunch of Zach Parker film, a bunch of Zach Parker tape. I seen, how aggressive he was, how much, he a switch hitter. You know what I'm saying? And for something was just telling me, just watching how Ryder was a slow starter and took so long to actually get his engine started in the Danny Jacobs fight. I just knew that Zach Parker was going to knock John Ryder the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew it. I just knew it, right? In my mind, I'm like, yo, listen, he about to get him out of here. Listen, I even went so far as to put it on a parlay that Zach Parker was going to get him out of there. It was a tough fight the first 4 rounds before he quit, right? He landed a couple shots. Ryder was being real rough, real rugged, real aggressive. He wasn't even allowing Zach Parker, I guess, to really get off in that instant. But I figure, Zach Parker is going to, pick up steam, and Ryder wasn't going to do that shit for a whole 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this motherfucker quit, man. Like, he really quit. Like, at the end of the day, this is not, I don't know, man. It's the hurt business for me. You know what I'm saying? And with this being a hurt business, shit happens. Shit, Tank went in there with a tough guy, Isak Cruz, that's known to knock guys out with one hand after the second, third round, about the 4th round around the same time. And he fought the rest of the fight. So this just showed me that Zach Parker just he don't, excuse my language, but Zach Parker don't got the nuts. You know what I'm saying? After the fight, he's showing all these interviews. He got his hand out like this, like a puppy dog and shit like that. He's at the doctor's office. He's showing his x-rays, showing the bro. We don't care, Zach. Zach, we don't care. What we do care about is that John Ryder's going to get a Canelo fight, and you back you back doing whatever Frank asked you to do. Parker broke his hand against Darryl Rims and got battered. I wonder if that had any influence on it. Probably so. I believe that, VV. And I got to check that fight out. But again, I watched Zach Parker versus, I believe his name is Marcus Morrison. I know he got stopped by Chris Eubank. I watched him do him real dirty. I watched a couple fights, man. Zach Parker, I seen him thug some fights out. I seen him, put a good effort in on some fights. It's just amazing to me that it seemed like the conversation wasn't even long. Motherfucker got off the bench and was like, yo, I'm done with this shit. Got off the stool, I quit. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. For me, that's I put him in this little bucket. I call it the SOS bucket. Was he smart or soft? You know what I mean? If you think that was a smart move by Zach Parker, go ahead and drop the word smart in the chat. If you think that was soft by Zach Parker, go ahead and drop the word soft in it. To me, I'm gonna hit him with the AB. They're lucky I don't got no keyboard in front of me because I'm gonna hit with the you got the that's soft ass shit up, man. That was some soft shit. You know what I'm saying? To me, that was super soft. Like at the end of the day, you don't my man Cleb, what's going on, man? Shout out to Clever. He was at the Regis fight over the weekend. We seen him take pictures with get a Virgil Ortiz Jr. to shout out Chicken Talk. Cleb, we've been giving you some trash, Cleb. So I'm a bow out to my man Cleb, man. We appreciate you, Cleb. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You still my guy, Cleb. But at the end of the day, man, hey, I definitely appreciate you going to that fight in Dignity Park. Them plane tickets was way too expensive for me, so I wasn't flying from the East Coast to California over Thanksgiving weekend to watch that. But nah, for sure. My man VV says soft. I agree, man. It was some soft shit. My man Broadway Joel, voice of Dominican boxing, soft. I appreciate it. The beautiful, the most beautiful Karma Serene, soft. I think so too. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Again, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a boxer. But I can only go off of what I've seen, and I've seen other fighters thug it out. I've seen fighters with injuries. We've seen fucking Yuriokis Gamboa fight from the second round to when he got stopped in the 11th or 12th against Tank with like a fucking torn ACL or something like that. So ain't no way I could give Zach Parker a break or whatever in an eliminator match that took face Canelo for undisputed next, and he just backed out and pulled out. That's nah. I can't let that go. That was some soft ass shit. I'm gonna get a soundboard, and that's gonna be the first sound I put up there. Shut that soft ass shit up, man, because that was some bullshit. I don't know what Zach Parker had going on, but yeah, you don't just quit in 4 rounds in to a close fight. I don't think that John Ryder was so tough that he I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, that's UK boxing. I follow it well. I study those guys. I'm there as well. So that shit was for me. Again, it is what it is. Let me see. My man Clev said we should have known when Ryder beat Jacob. Surprisingly, that's Canelo's. But you know what, Clev, I wasn't too sold on the Daniel Jacobs win. Truthfully, he did win, and maybe that could have been a setup from Matchroom. It was over in the UK. Obviously, I think that John Ryder did come on late in that fight. I do think that Daniel Jacobs did enough to get the win. I had it 7-5 Jacobs. But again, Jacobs did fade late. And like I said before, I'm going to say it every time. When you go overseas, whether it's a UK fighter coming to America, whether it's an American fighter coming to UK, you have to get a definitive win, a knockdown or a clear win. Anything you get that looks like 50-50 is going to the home crowd. Anything you get in a fight, anything you do that looks like 50-50 is going to go to the home crowd. We might as well not even bullshit ourselves. We know this is boxing. We know it's the Wild Wild West. We know what happens with judging. Just look at Adelaide Bird. You understand what I'm saying? And she's still judging fights. You know what I'm saying? Adelaide Bird is the judge that scored Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather a draw. if you know anything about boxing, if you've seen the Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather fight, you know that wasn't a draw. I don't even think Canelo won a round, but somehow a judge somewhere found 6 rounds for Canelo Alvarez against Floyd Mayweather. So again, if you're a fighter and you, again, if you coming over here or you going over, just, and that's just vice versa. Just like what talking about Jermaine Franklin. When you go on that side of the pond, you got to get a definitive win. You got to fucking win. You can't have no close fight. A close fight means you lost. And I think that's something that coaches, teams need to be telling these fighters before they even get over there, man. For real. Interesting. I say this all the time. Jacob Lazy, the sense I saw I have in him, yeah. You know, hey man, shout out to my man Tate Jones. You know what I'm saying? The number one boxing / sports capper on this here YouTube thing. Check out his Pick'em show Saturday mornings. We're gonna be in the building of his. Tate Jones was good, my boy. We appreciate you for joining in, coming in live. I'm trying to keep it short. I know Thursday night football. I think the Bills play. I think the Bills playing tonight. So I don't want to hold too many people tonight. Nah, for sure. I got some parlays lined up too for that DraftKings. You know, they just introduced gambling to the sport of Maryland. So I've been on it like white on rice, my boy. Appreciate you, Tate Jones. Our sports are crooked. Hey, facts, Club. Yeah, the Pats. Yeah, the Bills versus the Pats. That's a divisional game, so it should be tough. I think the Bills going to win, so I picked a couple parlays. You know, Josh Allen to do 2 touchdowns, Singletary to get about 50 yards, Diggs to get about 8 catches in the tug. You know, small shit, little, just little couple little parlays I had to put together for this one. I think it's going to be a good match, but a good game. But again, I do got the Bills, and I think that. I think my boy Josh Allen gonna go for at least 250, at least 2 touchdowns. My man Stephon Diggs, at least 8 receptions. Probably gonna get a tug. You know what I mean? Mac Jones, I'm gonna say they're gonna hold him under 2. We talk about that later, man. We talk about that later. But yeah. So again, man, I just think that was some soft shit on the part of Zach Parker. I mean, and even if you his manager, if you was coach, if you a team, part of his team, you just looking at him like, bro, what you doing? You've been the number 1 in the WBO for so long, bro, and you just wait to get here and fumble the bag. Like that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? Michelle Rivera, Frank Martin thoughts. So we talked about it a little bit. I'll go back to it real quick. So again, you know, Michelle Rivera is 24-0. Frank Martin 16-0. Michelle Rivera is the taller fighter, orthodox. Frank Martin, you know, shorter fighter, southpaw. I think that Frank Martin has just the opening advantage, as in he is a southpaw fighter that's normally fighting orthodox guys. So he's gonna be able to, you know, keep his foot on the outside. There was a couple things that he kind of showed that he needed to tighten up in the last match. He was doing this thing where he kept kind of like pawing that lead jab, which was allowing Jackson Mariñez to come over top a lot. And I think that he just can't afford to do the same things with Michelle Rivera, because we know that Michelle Rivera's straight right hand is a beast. Again, so I think that Frank Martin is it's really gonna be a battle of, can Michelle Rivera keep Frank Martin on the outside and play the distance game, and or is Frank Martin's, we know that I think his feet are faster than Michelle Rivera's, but can Frank Martin work his way on the inside, take some angles, and break Michelle Rivera down? Now, I will say, if you look at the Romero Duno fight, Frank Martin showed us that he could get a stoppage on the back foot. You know what I mean? So just even if Michelle Rivera is coming forward, I don't think that means that Frank Martin is going to be unsuccessful. You understand what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm picking Frank Martin. This is a 10-round fight. This is an eliminator for the WBA championship. So I believe it should be a 12-round fight, but I guess the guys work something out, and this is a 10-round fight. So, hey, I'm picking Frank Martin, but I would not be surprised if Michelle Rivera wins by decision or knockout, and vice versa. But right now, I'm picking Frank Martin by unanimous decision. That's my choice right now. That's what I'm sticking to. My man Clev said it's a true pick'em. He beat Rohan before the pandemic. Yeah, Frank gotta be living at at Zach Parker, because yeah, you know, we're gonna let him go. 50-50 fight. But all odds against Rivera. Yeah, I'm for sure. My man Clev said Michelle might pull it off, but he can't get too content. Just lingering out first gear. Oh, yeah, for sure, Clive. And I'm glad you said that, because this is the thing about Derrick James and his fighters. If you up on a Derrick James fighter, you better be for damn sure he gonna make it into a fight. So all of the cute, tricky shit, the 1-2 staying on the outside, the angles and footwork. Once it get to about the 7th or 8th round, if Frank Martin down, believe he gonna make Michelle Rivera fight. He gonna turn it into a fucking dog fight. And truthfully, that's what I want to see. So I hope Michelle Rivera jump out to a 3-round lead. Maybe Frank Martin could take, the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 4th and 5th, and then going into the the 7th, 8th round, the championship rounds. I hope it's dead down the middle, because I know that Frank Martin is going to make Michelle Rivera fight, and that's what I want to see. I want to see those guys fight. I want to see them two motherfuckers scrap for sure. Do expect a fast pace. Think either, you know what? I say this. I'm not sure about the pacing, but I will say, as of right now, I believe that a fast pace will benefit Michelle Rivera. The reason why I say that is because Michelle Rivera is one of those fighters that's always pumping his jab. He's always active, so he's never just really standing around in fights. He throwing punches for sure. If you notice the last fight that Frank Martin had against Jackson Marinez, in those closer to the late rounds, he kind of took some time off. And when I say took time off, it was so bad that the crowd started booing him and Jackson Marinez. So again, if you are a top prospect, right, and the crowd get to booing, that's just letting you know how negative the fight is. Even in the Caleb Plant Anthony Durrell fight, which I was in attendance for, it was at times that I had my head down in my phone because this shit was so boring. It was so negative. Caleb Plant fought so negatively. And so I don't think that Michelle Rivera is going to allow Frank Martin to fight, in a negative manner. So so Martin, if you talking about pace, if it's a fast-paced fight, I would favor Michelle Rivera. I'm not going to say Frank Martin going gas, but like I said, he got to keep up with that pace for sure. My man Broadway said Rivera gonna get the stoppage. Hey, we gonna see. Hey, my man, classic response. Salute to Broadway. Okay, my man Tay Jones. His team even told me, okay. Oh, hey, well, this is what we want to see. Well, if that's what he's gonna do, let him go for it. I want to see Michelle Rivera go for it. I like Michelle Rivera. I think he's the goods. I think Frank Martin's the goods. But I think the one thing that we haven't seen Michelle Rivera do, and I'm not saying he's not capable, again, we just haven't seen him do it, is bring that dog out. I think Frank Martin got told in his corner, hey, you got to bring that fucking dog out in his Jackson Marinez fight. It shouldn't have been that close. Marinez, if I'm not mistaken, he only had been back in the gym for like 3 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? That was a close fight. I know he was a late sub as an opponent, which is a good opponent. He boxed Rolly ears off, should have got that win, but the politics of boxing, so he took a loss to Rolly. But at the end of the day, again, Frank Martin, whether you want to say he showed dog, whether you want to say he had grit, toughed it out, again, to me, that's what he was doing. So I think that he's got to show that against Michelle Rivera, and I want to see Michelle Rivera bring that out too. Sure, really good. We're gonna see VV. Let me see, Clive. Bro, you making fun of Undisputed other name? Oh, yeah, let me see. Cheers, man. Cheers. Okay. You know what? That's crazy, Tay, because I've been hearing that a lot. A lot of people have been saying that they favor Michelle Rivera. Again, to me, it's a 50-50 fight. And I can see it all 4 ways. I could see Michelle with a stoppage. I could see Frank with a stoppage. I could see Michelle by decision. I could see Frank by decision. You know what I mean? Again, I think that the first round, we're going to have to start breaking this down. How is Frank Martin going to get past the lead jab of Michelle Rivera? If he's able to do that early and often, I think it's going to be a quick night. If Michelle Rivera is able to keep Frank at the end of that jab and keep him at bay and not make the mistakes that he makes it. And I think it could fuck around and be a quick night both ways. But again, that's why they fight the fights, and we'll see for sure. It's gonna be a good one. So Style makes fights. Here we got one. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So my next fight I want to talk about. Hey, while we still got my man Broadway in the building, we're gonna talk about Charles Conwell. Charles Conwell versus Juan Carlos Abreu. Charles Conwell, if I'm not mistaken, he's gonna be my next interview. So I already contacted Team Conwell. We get ready to get him on A-Side Boxing Talk one of these weekends. We're gonna bust it up with him. I know he had an eye injury. He got cut over his eye, so I want to let him heal up. He just had some pay issues. They got that all stuff squared away. So for sure. But Charles Conwell versus Juan Carlos Abreu. Let's talk about it. The last time we seen Juan Carlos Abreu, the last time I seen Juan Carlos Abreu, he had got knocked out by Boots. It was in the middle of the pandemic, but I did not know that Juan Carlos Abreu was only out of jail for like 20 days before he fought Boots. So again, just like the Zach Parker fight, I draw my parlay up. I pick Charles Conwell by stoppage. You know what I'm saying? The fight starts. I believe it's the first round, accidental headbutt with the young Conwell. He was 17-0 at the time. After his win, he's 18-0. So in my mind, right, as I'm watching this, right, and this kind of take me into the Zach Parker fight a little bit. As I'm watching Conwell with this cut and go back to the corner, he ain't saying shit about his eye. Team, they patching him up. They putting shit in there. They doing this. They doing that. He come out for the second round. Fight hard. Come out for the third round. Fight hard. Still leaking blood in his eye. And granted, obviously this is a new thing for him. So he wiping the blood. But he's fucking fighting. He's scrapping, man. This guy and Charles Conwell, man, when you talk about a strong fighter, this motherfucker, listen, man, certain things in boxing is just not supposed to happen, right? I talked about Anthony Yarde last week and his fight against, his his tune-up before the Better Be fight. If you watch the Anthony Yarde fight, he hit the guy with a right hand to the body and followed up with a right uppercut. The punch lifted the dude up off his feet. I don't give a fuck if you a tune-up, a tune-down, a prospect, a contender. If you weigh in the day before with a guy at the same weight, ain't no way this guy should be punching you and picking you up off your feet. You get what I'm saying? With Charles Conwell and Juan Carlos Abreu, right? It was spots. I want to say at least 4 times I counted where Charles Conwell was hitting Abreu, and you can physically see Abreu like, bro. Listen, that's just not something I see in boxing. I may see like a little grimace, like, oh shit, or this. He was literally you know what I'm saying? That motherfucking Charles Conwell hit hard. You understand what I'm saying? That young man hit hard. So either way, he got a 12-round decision. I think it was a majority decision. I think one of the judges had a draw, and then he won on the other 2 scorecards. But that was a great fight, man. I want to talk about the dog and Charles Conwell. His team could have easily packed it up. They could have easily pulled the Montana Love. I can't see, man, but I could scrap, though. I could scrap. They could have easily pulled that route. And mind you, them guys from the same city, too, right? He could have easily pulled that out. He could have easily, listen, we're gonna come with another fight. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't do that. He dogged it out, he toughed it out. And again, that was a semi-eliminator for the WBC. Now we know that Fundora and Tony Harrison are supposed to fight around March time for the final eliminator for Jermell Charlo. The winner of Fundora and Harrison should be fighting Charlo next, or whoever wins between Charlo and Zoo. But again, dog, that's what I'm talking. When you say dog, you got a young fighter that's going into a match. He know what the odds is. He know what he there for, and he dogged it the fuck out. You understand? Let's talk about Abreu. Abreu showed a whole different kind of toughness. He kept coming at Charles Conwell. He did not stop fighting for the whole 10 rounds. He dogged it out. He thugged it out. He did what he had to do, and he made sure that it was no easy win. If Charles Conwell would have had an ounce of bitch in him, Juan Carlos Abreu would have brung it out for sure. Tough one for Charles. Had a lot to deal with, but that dude was holding on. Yeah, he hit him with, for real. You know what I'm saying? That was some good work from Conwell. Yeah, for sure. You know what? The only thing I would say about Charles Conwell that I will hope that he improve, again, he has very great defense, and he definitely got this thing where he creates angles like really like tough, close inside, and he's still creating angles. I would just like to see him jab his way in a little bit. I believe that, he kind of walks in, slipping punches, which is good because it's not like he letting you punch his head off like Castaño on the just to get in. He walks in. He's very defensively astute. He keeps his hands up, very tight, very close in. I like what Charles Conwell doing. You understand what I'm saying? But I just want him to get. I just want him to. And you know what? Maybe the opponents that he's faced just haven't had him have to show his wrinkles yet. I know he is an Olympian. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, I like Charles Conwell, man. Again, I think he got a couple things he could add to his game, but at this point, I think he like 5'8", for junior middleweight or for super welterweight. That's kind of short, but that motherfucker strong. I ain't gonna hold you. He's strong. That was a fun one-sided fight. Yeah, Broadway. Hey, again, that's my man Broadway. And if Broadway say that was a fun one-sided fight against Dominican, then it was a fun one-sided fight. VV, the only thing I dislike about Conwell is inactivity. But even then, he's showing ring. Yeah, that's a fact. Again, he's a Lou DiBella fighter. I think he's fought one earlier this year. This was his second fight of the year. But yeah, man, I like Charles Conwell, and I'll be looking for him definitely in the future. He was ripping to the body for sure. In what way? Ho! Brian Norman did him dirty weird, Tay. In sparring? I know they ain't fight in the pros, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, what he doing dirty at? Tay, you gotta let me know. You gotta comment now. Shout out to my man Cleb. He said hit the like button. Hey man, like, comment, subscribe. Got the cash out. Yeah. Oh, okay, sparring. All right, but you know what? Brian Norman could fight. He could scrap. So I ain't even mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So like I said, the Brian Norman fight, it was a semi-eliminator in the WBC. I'm going to pop this little screen up and scroll over here. So really, what I like is that if you're looking at my screen, you see that as of October 20th, in which the Ring magazine should be updating a rankings up here pretty soon, you see that Charles Conwell is the number 10 Ring magazine fighter. I just did tell you guys that Charles Conwell, who was number 5 here in the WBC, just fought Juan Carlos Abreu, which was number 15 in the WBC for a semi-eliminator. So essentially, the winner of Fondora and Harrison would fight Charlo or Zoo, whoever the champion is, and then the winner of that fight would have to fight Charles Conwell next, or I think Charles Conwell would have to fight like one more eliminator and then get there. But again, I'm not really a fan of these eliminators. Again, I'm going with the home team, Erickson Lubin, who's a Haitian brother of mine. He had to fight like 20 fucking WBC eliminators until he finally lost to Fondora, which was a real good fight. But for Charles Conwell, the good thing about him is he is ranked in all 4 sanctioning bodies. But I think I'm going to key in on the IBF. And the reason why I say the IBF is because as a fighter, if you want to go the non-politic route, the non-bullshit route, the non-game plan route, you're going to go the IBF route. So Charles Conwell, 18-0. He's ranked number 4 in the IBF. Bakram Murtazayev is number 1. Now, this dude, Murtazayev, this guy been taking step aside after step aside after step aside after step aside after step aside, man. This guy has stepped aside multiple times for Jermell Charlo to defend his title. So if I'm Charles Conwell, I know, okay, the number 3 guy in the IBF, Tim Tszyu, is about to get a crack at Undisputed. If he wins, he wins. If he loses, whatever, it don't matter because he will be either moved down or moved around somewhere else, which will probably move him to number 3. And he could probably force a fight with Jack Colkay, who I don't really think he would get a fight with. But I could see Charles Conwell fighting Brock Crom, whatever this guy, Moritz Zayev, for the number 1 and for the mandatory in the IBF. We did see I forgot my man name that was ranked at in the IBF at number 1 at welterweight, fought Cody Crowley. Cody and ended up losing to Cody Crowley, so he lost that mandatory spot, which was he was the mandatory for Earl Spence. So yeah, I think if Charles Conwell really want a shot at the title again, he should go to IBF route. Right, it's only Tim Tszyu ahead of him, who's scheduled to fight the undisputed champion in Jermell Charlo. You got Jack Colkay. I don't know what he got going on, and you got this Bakram guy, Moritz Zayev, whatever his name is, at number 1. So again, Charles Conwell, if you're watching, if your team watching, the route for you is the IBF route. You know what I mean? The WBA, he ranked number 12. So, you know, and most of those guys is matchroom guys there, or, you know what I mean? So the WBO, he's ranked number 8, but Tim Tszyu is there, and the WBO mandatory is next. So if you take the WBO route, you got to think about the IBF, WBC, WBA behind you. If I'm Charles Conwell, the IBF route, that's what I'm taking to my championship. You know what I mean? But that's me. Let me see. Man, Clev, again, hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Brian Norman could scrap. Let me see. Wait, hold up. Brian Norman could scrap. You still on that bug card? No, actually, I think Brian Norman should be coming out with some news here very shortly. He is going to sign to a major promoter, and I believe we will see him first quarter of 2023. That's his business to tell. Whenever he's ready to tell the world, he will let us know. And again, yeah, we will see him early. Okay, my man Tay said he just signed a top rank. Or if that been out, then hey, great news. A couple of us knew that for a little while, and I'm very excited to see my man Brian Norman Jr. Scrap. He did come on, do an interview with me a couple weeks ago. So again, yeah, we rocking with Brian Norman Jr. Let me see. Honestly, that was quick. Okay. Let me see. Conwell with batter Colkay too. Shane Colkay is enjoying the fruits of his gift. Nah. Again, I think he will, but I know, and I don't even think again, he fight for Lou DiBella, so he can fight anywhere. Maybe a top rank card, maybe a PBC card. But again, he's fought on the zone before. But again, I wouldn't mind seeing Conwell versus the number 1 guy in the IBF for a mandatory position. That dude just looking to step aside. Conwell is high risk, low reward. A lot of fans don't know him, so guys are gonna skip past him and not fight him. And if you're looking for that real route to a championship, he need to go to IBF route. Point blank. Period. Let me see my girl Karma. Get paid. Hey, that's a fact. He could have fought for the belt, but hey, he might as well get paid. You know, he's been stepping aside. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Talking about the Salida. I don't know if he's a Salida fighter. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure, man. Talking about those. Okay, yeah. All right. So the last fight that we're gonna talk about over the weekend is this Regis Prograis and Charles Zepeda. Listen, man. If anybody know me, y'all know I'm a big fan of the old school boxers. I love watching old school boxers. I like to watch like Jose Napoles, Carlos Monzon. Even before that, Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, a lot of these Ezra Charles, a lot of these guys I love watching. When you watch a Regis Prograis fight, man, if you watch those old school guys, he just give you those vibes, man. A lot of these guys nowadays, man, when they fighting, they stance is super wide, like they fencing or some shit like that, man. Regis keep his shit compact, his feet not too far apart, never lifting his feet up off the ground, just casually sliding across the ring, super quick jab, very herky-jerky, i.e. Jersey Joe Walcott. And I'm going to keep saying that name because I'm from Jersey, he from Jersey. But if you ever decide, hey, I just feel like watching some old boxing film, check out my man, Jersey Joe Walcott. You know, he get to doing this, get to moving back and forth, real herky-jerky, real good, got his little style going on. And that's what Regis remind me of, man. This performance from Regis Prograis, A1. Charles Zepeda, again, he's no hoe, no bitch. You know what I'm saying? I think that he could be, and when I say this gatekeeper, I mean this respectfully. Again, Jose Vargas was supposed to be the guy right before he got knocked out, but yeah, he kept him. He kept him from a title shot. He kept him from a high ranking spot. I think Charles Zepeda still got some boxing left in him, but the fact of the matter is, he just could do nothing with Regis Program. You know what I'm saying? He could do nothing. Jersey, you already know, man. Jersey, we got to stand up in the building. I'm from New Jersey. Elizabeth Avenue, you already know the vibes, right? But Regis Program, man, he showed a different level. He showed us that he is still the top guy, right, between him and Josh Taylor, the top guy at 147. I mean, at 140, excuse me. He's the man to beat. He's currently the WBC world champion at 140. His next mandatory is Jose Ramirez, who really been ducking him for a long time. That fight should have been happened. And that's supposed to be next. I seen Rick Milligan, who is Jose Ramirez manager. He posted Jose Ramirez said the storms is brewing with him and Regis. But I do know Sunday afternoon he was posting Jose Ramirez and Tio, which I don't know why, because Tio don't got a belt and Jose Ramirez ain't Tio mandatory. But at the end of the day, like I said, Jose Ramirez he need to see Regis Prograis. I think Regis Prograis will win that fight by stoppage. I really do think so. But again, this is why they fight the fight. That's something that we got to see. Prograis did some unseen business to Chong. He's so well-rounded and versatile, but unique too. I'm convinced he – listen, VV, I feel the same way, man, and I'm glad you said it. You know, sometimes I talk so much about this boxing. Sometimes I do be feeling like I get beside myself. But as I was watching Regis Prograis Saturday night, in my mind, I'm like, ain't no way this dude is not a top 10 fighter, skill-wise, right? I think if he beat Jose Ramirez, I think if Tio is able to get past Sandor Martin in New York, which I will be in the building for, right? I think if he's able to, get past a couple of these fighters, 2023 late or early 2024, this guy got to be on he got to be on a pound for pound list. And another reason is because 140 is one of the deepest division in boxing, and Regis want that smoke. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? That was exciting. Sitting there watching Regis, both, Virgil saying, okay. Now that's a fact. Yeah. So again, Regis is 33. I know he in his direct prime right now. I think he got probably 3-4 more good years left at 140, but I know Regis is ready for these fights, and he should have them fights now for sure. Let me see what else my man Claire got to say. I was interested to see if you could keep up the Orthodox fan. Yeah, man. Listen. Yeah. Hey, Regis is the truth, man. Regis is definitely true. Both guys by mid rounds, I said, facts. And you was in the building, so. And you know what, Claire, how was the weather outside? I know that was an outside fight. I know it's California, so I know it ain't too cold. But what was it? Like, what was the weather out there? I wonder, was it cold? How was it? Actually being outside, because I know Dignity Health is an outside arena or outside center. So how was the weather out there? I was always curious to that. Might as well get on. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Regis in that overhand left, man. One thing that I did like that Regis was doing, I think if you follow boxing and you watch boxing, you know that Jose Zepeda, his money punch is that straight left hand. However, Regis Prograis money punch is that overhand left. And even early in the fight, Regis was trying to land that overhand left. His corner told him, hey, chill, relax. You know what I'm saying? We'll get it. We'll get him. And he relaxed. He didn't fall for none of the tricks that Jose Zepeda was trying to throw with that overhand, with that straight right left hand, and he ended up getting the job done. 11-round stoppage. And again, you said Regis' next opponent, it should be Jose Ramirez, and it should be nobody else. Zepeda's game plan was interesting, though expected. He gets lazy and doesn't do enough. That's a fact. That's a fact. But again, I think probably by the mid rounds, he realized, like, damn, this got too fast for me. And shit, even in the fight, if you're watching a fight, at some points in time in the fight, you could just see Jose Zepeda just watching Regis do head movement. He didn't know when to throw. I think at some point he was just throwing punches. Like, he didn't even know how to time. He couldn't get a timing down and none of that shit. So again, we'll see. Cold. Oh, so it was about 50 to 55 degrees outside. That's rough. So again, I think if the weather would have been a little better, we might have seen a better performance from my man Regis Prograis. Again, the link to join me in the chat is in the description. So if anybody want to come live with me and bust it up, go ahead, hit the link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Or hit the link in the description. You can come live with me. We could talk some boxing a little bit. I'm gonna stay on a little bit more before we I know the boxing. I mean, football is already on. I don't want to stop nobody from that football. Let me see. Zepeda landed the big left too and shook Prograis. No, actually, he did hurt Prograis a couple. I think 2 times he hurt Regis Prograis. But again, it wasn't too much that he could do with Regis, man. Regis, man, and that boy a dog. Let me see. My man L Dub Boxing. Hey, listen, L Dub Boxing. This is Boxtradamus. If you ever want to know anything about boxing, these rankings, who possibly could fight who, even if you just got questions about your favorite fighter, man, this L Dub Boxing, my man Boog Williams is the fucking guy to see, man. So go over to his page, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tune in, put your notifications on. I got my notifications on the Boog Williams because he keep me sharp. My man L Dub Boxing keep me sharp, and I'm always only thing I watch is House of Dragons and boxing. You know what I'm saying? And my man L Dub Boxing keep me sharp, man. So shout out to him. Again, go like, comment, subscribe. My man L Dub Boxing. I appreciate you, bro. We always tapping in. We always in each other inbox, boxing, passing ideas back and forth. So that's the man to see if you want to definitely learn something about these rankings and how these fights get made and put together. Yeah, I'm not mad at you, Cleb. I know it was definitely a little chilly out there, man. But again, that was that, man. I don't got too much more, man. I'm going to let everybody go. We ain't going to keep it too. We were under an hour, about 45, 46 minutes in. I appreciate everybody for joining me. This is Truth, ASOP Boxing. Hey, listen, I can't even sit here and bullshit you and tell you that I'm going to bring you non-biased boxing. Everybody got fans, bro. Everybody is a fan of somebody. But what I try to do is put the facts in front of you and let you make your own decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here capping for no fighters. I'm not here making up no bullshit for no fighters. I'm just here to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to say it's truth. And that's short for truth over narrative. And this is ASOP Boxing. You understand what I'm saying? So again, I appreciate everybody for joining me, rocking with me for this little hour real quick, man. Again, it's ASOP Boxing. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're feeling generous, drop me a couple dollars in the Cash App if you're feeling like it. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we do, man. Again, I appreciate my man Clev, man. Peace and blessings, sir. Be well with the family. You know the vibes, man. Listen, it's ASOP Boxing. We're going to do this shit every week. We're going to turn this shit up. I am on the hunt. I'm on the prowl. I'm on the whatever you want to call it for 1,000 subscribers, man. Make sure you turn me up. Listen, Thanksgiving is over. I didn't get as many followers as I should. That means that you didn't see your grandmother, you didn't take her phone, you didn't create a YouTube, and you didn't subscribe to my channel, man. Listen, man, don't make me come through this screen, man. You hear me? Go get Granny phone, make a YouTube, and subscribe to my channel, dog. I'm joking, man. Again, man, it's ASOP Boxing, man. I appreciate everybody for joining with me. I'm getting ready to cut it off, watch some football. Let's see if my parlay is hit. I might wake up in the morning a rich man. You know what I mean? Again, appreciate everybody for joining me. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, comment, subscribe. This is ASOP Boxing. We are out.